Morning everybody, welcome to day 2 of the Lowbuck vacation. So we are at Fairfax Lake where we spent the night last night. This morning we're going to head north on the forestry trunk road and explore what is called the Alberta Coal Branch. That was a rail line that they built over 100 years ago, I think around 1912 or something like that, to a bunch of towns. Oh, there's Ryan. Morning, Ryan. So yeah, we're gonna look. Some of the towns don't exist anymore. Some of them are still on active mining property, so we can't go on them. Some of them only have like a cemetery, and some of them actually are still in existence. So we're gonna have some breakfast here and then go explore that area. So we'll turn the camera back on once we're a little further north and looking for the ghost town of Levittville. So talk to you in a bit. All right, we're at our first stop of the day on day 2. We're at the ghost town of Levittville. We don't want to explore too much because we saw signs that this is on private property, but looking up, you can see an old cabin up on the hill there. Into the river, there's like some old pipes, and yeah, there's some pipes and stuff on the ground there. And then further back here, there's actually a bridge across the river up here too. Yeah, if you look right down the river there, you can see a bridge. So this would have been the site of Levittville, which was one of those old coal mining towns on the Coal Branch, but basically ended when the railroads transitioned from steam power to diesel power. So this would have been where Levittville was. So we're just exploring a little more around this Levittville area. Not totally clear. The map seems to kind of show it in a couple different places, but somewhere around here anyways. We found the remains of this old cabin. And then over there is another old structure that's fallen down, and we don't want to climb around in it too much, but down buildings anyways that were probably part of Levittville at one time. We're just exploring a little more in the woods by Levittville here and found this totally flattened old cabin. Also a big hole in the ground here. I don't know if that would have been a well or a root cellar or something. But another cool old cabin. And there is yet another old fallen down cabin in the area that we think is Levittville. And we see from Google Maps or Gaia GPS maps, looks like there's some kind of structure down this little trail here. So we're gonna follow that for a bit and see where that brings us. So we followed that trail a little more and came to yet another cabin that's mostly still standing actually. This part of it is collapsed obviously, and then there's another shed or outbuilding back there. I don't know that I actually want to go inside this thing, but let's have a look through the window anyways. There it is, cool old cabin. There's a couple more little cabins we found in the Levittville area. And then up on the hill here, there's another structure up there. cabin up there. And some more back in there, so we're gonna go check those out. Here's another cabin in Levittville here. Wood looks very sketchy though, so let's maybe have a look through the window. Bunch of old magazines and stuff. Might be interesting. Another one here. There's like an old pan and pickle jar. There's the other side of it. More old cabins back in there. Looking in another window here, you can see the old stove and stuff. It's like this place was basically just walked away from. Their entrance here. Again, I don't wanna. Oh, what the heck? Let's go in a little bit. You can see a table and a chair. In this room, there's like a little desk. Squirrel peanut butter still on the shelf. A little cylinder head from a chainsaw or some kind of little two-stroke engine. Cool. We just saw this in one of the sheds, what appears to be an old car. Yep. Way out in the middle of nowhere here. Let's go look at it from the front end. There it is. See any kind of badge or anything on it. If anybody knows what kind of car that is, let us know. Still one seat. It's actually not in terrible shape if you look at the bottom of it and stuff. Not much for rust, not much for dents. Oh, I lied. There's a pile of rust along that rear end there, but for the most part, it looks pretty complete. Let's look under the hood for a sec. It's a little dark in there, but does that say Austin on the... Oh yeah, on the valve cover it says Austin. Interesting. So that must be like a British car of some sort. How weird to find an abandoned British car up in the middle of nowhere in a ghost town. But pretty cool. I've been saying that a lot, but it is cool. We're just finding more and more cabins. I'd have to believe this is like the main, what would have been the main town site of Levittville, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a couple more down the hill. So 10, 11, 12 cabins right in this immediate area here. So, but most of them, once you've stuck your head in one abandoned cabin, they'll start to look similar. There's some bricks from the old chimney that's fallen over in that one. Just looking through the window of another one here. Cool old stove, shelf and chair and little table and desk. More shelves falling over there. Some old couch chair type thing. But that stove is pretty neat. Other end of that same cabin, there's still a plate on the shelf. Got a big glass mason jar type thing on the ground. from the other angle. Some coffee cans and stuff hanging up. So we've finished up exploring that Levittville area. We've driven a little further north up the Forestry Trunk Road. Now we're in, there's a couple other what would be ghost towns or whatever, Coal Valley and Foothills, but there's actually an active coal mine. If we look out the window here, you can see the buildings for the Coal Valley mine, and then a big pile of what I'm assuming is tailings from when they separate the coal from the rest of the dirt and rock. So I don't think we'll be able to go much further, and I don't think there's much here anyways at this Coal Valley and Foothills as far as like old buildings or anything, because there is a new mine sitting there. So they are still getting coal out of the ground here in this area. So we're going to continue further north up the trunk road and visit the old town sites of Mercoal, and then head over to Cadomin and Mountain Park. So it's a little windy out, but we're further north in the old town of Mercoal, as you can see on that cement thing, whatever it is. And throughout the valley here, you can see there's a bunch of old like cottages and stuff that were actually part of the original town, and now people have restored them. There's some more old mine workings here, kinds of old metal and stuff scattered over the ground. It's getting pretty windy here, so I'll shut off the camera for now. Still pretty windy here, but I think it might have found the old mine shaft at Mercoal here. And there's spilled out letters on the ground, the word Mercoal here. Alright, so we've made our way west. We're on the Grave Flats Road and just stopped to take a nice little scenic viewpoint here. We are just on the edge of Jasper National Park, and this is called Cardinal Divide. And I don't know if you guys can see, there's a trail up over that ridge. Back when I was probably 18, I came out here with my little Ford Ranger 4x4, and you could 4x4 all over here. And now it is all closed, except for you're allowed to go on the main road, but you can't leave the road. But anyways, here we are, Cardinal Divide. The sign says we're at 6,500 feet. We're gonna make our way north and go through the old towns of Mountain Park and Cadomin. So we're gonna hop in the car again and head north. This is just our view as we're heading north on the Grave Flats Road, coming up to Mountain Park and Cadomin. Alright, we're a little further north up the road. We are at Mountain Park. You can see Mountain Park, somebody's spelled out in rocks on the side of the hill. Mountain Park Cemetery is up on the hill. We'll go have a look at that in a bit. We're on the Mountain Park spur line, which was kind of a narrow gauge railway track. You can still see the old rails in the grass there. Somebody cruising by on a side by side. There's lots of that around here. And the actual town site of Mountain Park was up on the hill over there. It's a little windy here, so hope you guys can hear me, but and I guess the town of Mountain Park actually was fairly big at one time, like thousands of people. And when it was around, I think it was the highest, altitude-wise, the highest town or village in all of Canada. We're gonna head up the hill now and have a look around at the cemetery. So we're up the hill now here, Mountain Park Cemetery. grave sites are pretty small. Must have been a child or something. I don't see any name or anything on it, but not a full-sized. There's some of the grave markers. 1937, that guy passed away. 1926, 1929, 1983. $1943. We'll just shut off the camera and wander around here. So we're just rolling through the actual village of Cadomin, and there's some of the old original miners' cottages. That one's even for sale if you want to buy it. Another one there. An old cottage. The kind of the general store and restaurant and stuff, and they used to have gas pumps here, and I can remember this sign from when I was a kid. Sign on the wall says "Eat here and get gas." Hole in the Wall Cafe, Jacoby's Mountain Road General Store. So we're just leaving Cadomin, gonna head north on Highway 40 and go to Hinton. Grab some gas and top up our supplies and our groceries, and then keep heading north from there and head up towards the Grand Cache area. Probably it's already 5:15, so probably won't make it too far past Hinton, but that's the direction we're headed anyways. So we've made another stop here. We're north of Hinton now. We stopped for fuel and supplies. We're in the old town of Brule, and these old ruins were apparently the mine manager's house here. And then we can see in the distance there's another foundation or something back up there. So another old abandoned coal mining town, or abandoned part of town anyways. There's a part of town where people still live, but kind of interesting. There's another old foundation that would have been a house in the old Brule town site. And another old foundation hidden in the trees here up at Brule with some metal, I don't know, parts of a stove or something in it. And this here old foundation is apparently Brule School. Alright, once again I forgot to shoot a wrap-up video of the day on day 2, but this is where we ended up camping night of day 2. We're at Big Berland, which is north of Hinton, Alberta. Kind of camped right along the edge of the river here, and got rained on. Had to set up our tent in the rain last night, but made it this far anyways. So gonna wrap this one up. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more of our adventures as we head north. Talk to you in a bit.